Can the San Antonio Spurs beat the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder for a fourth straight time this year?
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network. And today, Lee, it's all basketball with the NFL wildcard round all decided. Went 3-0, by the way, in the show. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit as the Texans advance to the second round. But first, though, Lee, the Thunder and the Spurs, already San Antonio has beaten Oklahoma City in Las Vegas. San Antonio, Oklahoma City, the Thunder are running out of cities to lose to the Spurs in, but they're back at home tonight. So we'll see how this turns out with OKC favored. And it's time for our blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
For some reason, the Thunder have had their issues with the Spurs this season. They lost out in the NBA Cup against them and also a couple times around Christmas. So, Lee, will a fourth time be a charm for the defending champs?
Well, some things have changed a little bit since that time. So, San Antonio, maybe for the first time of the year, they're sputtering. They've lost 3 of 5. They've been outscored late in games, including the game on Sunday against Minnesota. They were outscored 33-18 down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So that's kind of telling. Maybe the team's tired. Also, 13 for 38 from three-point land. Legs are going. I don't like to back teams that are not shooting well. Guard Devin Vassell out, and he scores an average of 15 points a game. And his being out kind of coincides with this slide here. Oklahoma City, on the other hand, they came on in that game against Miami on Sunday. Both teams played on Sunday. They outscored Miami 70-53 in the second half, just ran them out of the gym, and also won the rebounding battle, which they'll have to win, I believe, to win this game and cover the spread. They out-rebounded Miami 46-37, and Miami had done really well lately on the glass. Number 2 is OKC in offense. And number 1, people are always shocked about this. They see a high-scoring team and they think, oh, they probably don't play much defense. Teams that win championships, usually teams in the conference championship and also the NBA Finals, almost always in the top 5. They're number 1 in scoring defense. I love the big 3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 31.9 points per game. Let me say that again. 31.9 points per game. He's almost unguardable. Jalen Williams, 17.5 points a game. Chet Holmgren, over 18 points again. That's their big 3 right now. Blowout special Tuesday night. OKC gets that revenge for losing to San Antonio all 3 times this year in 3 different cities at home. They're going to protect the home turf. I got OKC here winning by double digits.
And we'll see how San Antonio responds after they blew their game against Minnesota a few days ago. And they were coming off a tough back-to-back at Boston, at Minnesota, and had to go to Oklahoma City. So it doesn't get easier for the Spurs, but obviously the Thunder looking to break through against San Antonio here for the first time. Now let's take a look back at last night, Lee, quickly. 3-0 on our picks. Hit the Jazz outright. They knocked off the Cavaliers, so that was a good bounce back for them after our 55-point loss to Charlotte.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I thought it was going to be nip and tuck, but, I mean, easy outright. Just a great spot. You picked it. Good coach for Utah. Obviously, they don't have all the talent assembled to win on a consistent basis, but you can tell a coach like that going to certainly drive his team to come back and not embarrass themselves, and they pulled off the shocker there. Can you imagine if you had money line on that game? We probably wouldn't be doing this show after the Super Bowl if we had money line for some big money.
Yeah, I think it was around plus 450 for Utah last night. They actually were down 8 going to the half. They had a great first quarter. Cleveland outscored them 40-20 in the second. You figured, okay, well, Cleveland's going to run away with the game, but Utah played well in the second half and got the win. Now, as far as the NFL playoffs goes, the Texans ended up pulling away from the Steelers last night. So Houston advances now to the second round. They're going to face New England coming up on Sunday. But a couple things from last night. C.J. Stroud, not great. Aaron Rodgers could be the end. So, and also, too, by the way, you did have Houston. Let's not forget to mention that. You had Houston, and you also had DK Metcalf under receptions. Didn't look good early, but after that, he just stopped catching the ball, so that was good for you. So just kind of your thoughts on everything that unfolded last night with Houston knocking out Pittsburgh.
Houston's defense is just so good. I mean, it's scary good. That front four, they almost never have to blitz. And eventually, they just wore out that offensive line from Pittsburgh. Obviously, Pittsburgh couldn't run much either. Aaron Rodgers showed his age. You need a real mobile quarterback and a quarterback who releases the ball quickly, and Aaron Rodgers is neither. That defensive line, like I said, gets after you. They don't have to blitz. The linebackers make tackles in spaces, and they play a lot of man coverage, especially with the outside cover corners. And DK Metcalf, yeah, he did catch 2 balls right away, the first 2 possessions, one each possession. Then he dropped the ball, and I guess they lost confidence in him, just like A.J. Brown for the Eagles. So we'll see if he stays there also. But I do think that Mike Tomlin, there's a very good chance that he moves on. I just think that the franchise and also he needs a change of pace. And, you move him, not going to Cleveland, trust me that. Stefanski, they're talking about he might move to Pittsburgh if Pittsburgh ends up probably not firing him, but working out some type of agreement to move on. But I don't see him moving to Cleveland. But let's say another team like Atlanta or Miami who needs an identity, I think he'd be really good for. Not saying he's the home run hire for 5 years, but 2-3 years he'd change the identity and make them both much tougher teams.
A quick note on this. Let's just transition to the college football playoff championship. It's 6 days from now in Miami, Hurricanes and Indiana. That line has moved up a little bit. What do you think about Indiana now moving up? Was it now 8.5 point favorite against Miami?
Well, it's dependent mainly on the last game that people saw, and the last 2 for Indiana's sake, the way they blitzed Alabama and just also dominated Oregon. So people think they're invincible. I'm studying tapes right now. We'll definitely have something later in the week on this game, or at the very latest on Monday. But the way I look at this, who knows? This Miami, remember in 1983, they played Nebraska, 11.5 point underdog. No one thought they had a chance. Nebraska, was just absolutely destroying teams. Miami was ranked 5th going into the game. Things happened earlier in the day to give them a chance. I think Auburn tied the game and Texas lost, giving them a chance to win the game. But Nebraska had a weakness. Nebraska could not defend the pass, had not faced a passing offense that was proficient all year. This Indiana team has faced some good teams. So what I do also is I really study. You don't need to study when they play nobodies. Not at all. You're not going to learn a whole lot. I will study starting today the Iowa game, which they won, I think, like 18-12, and then the Ohio State game, they won 13-10. Those are the 2 games that I will study first to get a better idea on how teams defense that offense, and then maybe scatter in some other teams to see some games, how they attack their defense if they had some success.
Well, we're going to get more into this game later in the week, and we know Monday we'll have a pick on the game coming up next week between Indiana and Miami. So let's transition. We have a couple basketball or college basketball plays for today, Big Ten and SEC. And first, let's get to our lock of the day inside the Big Ten.
Open it, open it, open it. Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
Lee Sterling is handing me the key today for the lock of the day. And we're looking at Nebraska and Oregon inside the Big Ten. Nebraska, 20 consecutive wins dating back to last season. So 16-0 this year, 4 wins to close out last year. And they're laying 10.5 against Oregon tonight. We're going to take the points of the Oregon Ducks. Now, a couple of points here. Number one, Nebraska 5-0 inside the Big Ten. And Oregon is the worst KenPom rated team they're going to face in the Big Ten. They already beat Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan State, Ohio State, and they came back to beat Indiana back on Saturday. It looked like that was going to be the game they were going to lose. Meanwhile, for Dana Altman's Oregon Ducks, 8-8 on the season, 1-4 in the Big Ten. It's been a bit of a struggle, and they are headed out on the road after they just lost to Ohio State back on Thursday. This is kind of interesting. They go on the road for this one game and then back at home Saturday. Guess who you get? The Michigan Wolverines. So you get Nebraska and Michigan, then Michigan State after that. So it's not an easy road for them. But getting all of these points here against Nebraska, who obviously is a very good team, I feel like still not as much talked about among Big Ten teams as like a Michigan or a Michigan State or an Indiana. But I do believe here, Lee, that in this spot, after a couple underdog wins the last two games against Ohio State and against Indiana, that there could be a bit of a letdown here. And maybe Nebraska wins, but I don't think they cover the spread. Let's take the points with the Oregon Ducks against Nebraska as our lock of the day.
I like it. I like this lock here. I think it's a great spot. Not saying Oregon's great, but protecting the home turf, long flight out, and midweek game, the kids are in school. Yeah, kids actually do go to school and have homework. And if this was like a Saturday game, may not like it as much, but I like it here. Midweek game, and Oregon fans need something to cheer for. So didn't have anything from the start of that football game. So maybe they'll have something to root their team on about. And like I said, it's a lot of points. If it was 4 or 5, I wouldn't touch it, but getting almost double digits, I like it a lot.
Yeah, we'll see if Nebraska back at home now, how well they play against Oregon. Coming up, we have another college basketball play, Texas A&M and Tennessee. We're going to talk about that coming up. That is straight ahead right here in the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. The NFL playoffs continue, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode every game day during the NFL playoffs. FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action, because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets you like the most. So you open your profit boost pack first thing on game day, and you see what boosts you can apply. There's 4 games coming up this weekend, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. The boosts let you lean into your game day instincts. If you want to back a good defense, maybe a quarterback you like, try to apply it for some player props, a side, a total, a money line, whatever your choice is. And the boost gives you more juice in the bets you already like. Instead of trying to do something new, you can go with the boost and you can make your picks, then apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. We continue Locked On Bets here on a Tuesday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. So our second college basketball play. And it's time now, Lee, for our Hidden Gem.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
C and Texas A&M, they meet up tonight on Rocky Top. And the Gators blew out the Volunteers in Gainesville on Saturday. Kind of an ugly showing for Rick Barnes' crew. Now 1-2 inside of the SEC. Meanwhile, for Texas A&M, they are rolling along, Lee. 6 straight wins, 3-0 in the conference. So what do you like with the Aggies and the Vols?
So here's what I know in following Rick Barnes. His team's had trouble scoring over the last couple of years. And when they have trouble scoring, they don't all of a sudden just bounce out of that absolute funk. So a lot of people love to bet, teams that are ranked like Tennessee still is, ranked 24th, and expect them all of a sudden, to rebound to form. I just don't see it. The due to win, due to bounce back theory doesn't work in gambling if you want to be successful in the long run. Absolute dominance by Florida in that game. They are not a great scoring team. They're 84th in the country in scoring. On the other hand, no one knows much about this Texas A&M team, which is 13-3 and unranked. They won 6 straight, 3-0 in the SEC. Love the way they closed the game to beat Oklahoma on a 14-6 run over the weekend. They are number 5 in the country in scoring, 93.7 points per game. They have 6 players led by Ruben Dominguez who score 10 or more points. They don't have to rely on one guy. He just recruited a lot of really good players. They come at you in waves. They play like 9, 10 guys here. Also, they're 27th in three-point shooting, so they can shoot inside and outside here. Head coach for A&M, which no one knows, his name is Bucky McMillan. Get used to following Bucky Ball. Bucky Ball is fun basketball, and it's winning basketball. And also, not only people not even know his name, maybe 2 to 3% of sports fans came from not Stanford, he came from Sanford. Just like Kurt Zignetti, guy's a winner here. We're taking Bucky Ball and Texas A&M plus the 9.5 points. It's going to be my hidden gem.
And I'm sure Texas A&M doesn't miss Buzz Williams, who left to go to Maryland, and Maryland struggled, and A&M is doing fine. So I'm sure they are embracing Bucky Ball down in College Station. So, Lee, we got a national championship next week. Also, now we have 4 games in the NFL for the divisional round starting Saturday. Also, plenty of NBA, college basketball, and NHL. So what's going on with Paramount Sports with all that's going on?
Well, it's going to be coming up shortly. Put it up on the website. It's called my Fab Five. Last year, this weekend, we won all 4 games in the divisional round and also the college football championship. In fact, we won 5 of the last 6 college football championship games. You want to get Lee's Fab Five, all 4 selections in the NFL divisional playoff and also the college football championship. Fab Five, just $75, one place, ParamountSports.com.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets. You could find us there on YouTube as well as the audio version, the podcast version on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back with you coming up on Wednesday for another edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.